Hello everyone, I am Sagar. Welcome to my channel Learn to Code. In this video we will implement CRUD application in React. So here we will create form from where we can create a employee record. That record we can see in the table list, and also on clicking the view button we can view the details of the employee. Also we can update the record and delete the record. We are doing this without backend API or backend code, so all the data we are storing in the local storage. Also we are not using any UI component library like Material UI or Microsoft Fluent UI. The purpose is to keep this application very simple, or I don't want it to go in the complexity of using the other things, just to learn the basic concepts of the React. Also we are not going to use any state management library like Redux or other libraries. Okay, so let's have a look like what we are going to build. I have run this application on port 5000. So here you can see in this application we have the header. Also this is the table which shows the all the records. From here we can view the details of the employee. We can edit the record. Okay, also we can click on the back button, so we can go on the list, and we can here delete the records as well. And from add employee button we can create the new record at the gmail.com. So yeah, here we have two records, so of the email and name, so we can delete it. Also, like I said, we are storing the data in the local storage. So once we open the tab again, the site again, we are fetching this data and showing this. Okay, so what we are like learn from this application. So we are using functional components, so you will get much better idea about the functional components. And for data storing activity we are using hooks, use state and use effect hooks. And here we will go, we will pass data from parent to child, so that also help you. Also we are going to use JavaScript array to store the user records, employee records, delete and update. Okay, fine. So let's get started with the code. Here this is my folder where I am going to create the application. As of now, like, we are going here to implement React CRUD application, so I expect everyone to have a basic knowledge about React. And we are not discussing here how to install the node and React setup. With here I am going to use the Typescript template. I always recommend to use Typescript instead of plain React. Even if you are getting some complexity, try to solve that, but never skip uh, TypeScript. Command to create a React application is like npx create React app and name of the application or the solution. Then we are going to use the template, that is TypeScript. It will take some time to install all the unnecessary things. Cannot create a project name, creator npm naming restriction. Okay, so I will use CRUD small, so it will take some time. Okay, so the command is completed. Now to open the Visual Studio Code, I will type code dot slash and our folder name React CRUD. Let's run this one. npm start. So the this application we are running on port 3000, and on port 5000 we can see what we have to achieve. Okay, so this is the basic template React provide to us. Let's see what it is in the folder and files. So in package.json we are using as of now 18.2 version, and for TypeScript we are using 4.8.2, and this is our application name React dash CRUD, and our application version is 0.1.0. These are the commands to run the application: npm start, build, and test, eject. Okay, let's have a look in the src folder. Here we have index.ts and app.tsx. So I will delete this, all the app related thing. Okay, and in index.ts for now I am writing div element, div app. Okay, and deleting this record to make the things clean. Okay, fine. So if you observe our application here, you will find we have the home page, then we have the navigation bar or the header bar. Okay, then this one is a employee list, and after that we have add employee form. Okay, and here we have model, and also on clicking the edit button we have this edit page. So we will target one by one. First start creating the header section. Okay, so let me create component folder. Here we will write everything. So first home.tsx, and we are using here functional components, so constant home arrow function, and I am returning here some dummy text div. This is a home page, and we have to export this home component, export default home. Fine, and now I can call this or use this home component in the index instead of this dummy text. Okay, so here home, um, the home component is auto imported, else we will need to uh, import it manually. Now on the UI you will see the home component dummy text. Fine, so let's start creating the header section first, or the here I will write article, then header. These are the semantic elements in the HTML. You can go and check that. In H1 I will write some text: React simple CRUD application. Okay, and some style, as it is a plain text we can write some style. To uh, use style or to write style we have 2-3 ways, like, so here we are I'm going to use the style file home.style.css. Okay. Here I will write style for the header article header, I need a background color as a dark blue. Color of all the text, it's 5u, sorry, white, and border as like 3 pixels solid and transparent. Text align as a center. Okay, fine. I can use this class now for this article. So we will use class name article header, and we have to import the style file. So home.style.css. Now you can check our style is applied to the header section. So we are done with this now. Now we will focus like on creating the content part. Okay, so let's create another section. I will call it like content. Okay, so if I have here, let me try write some dummy text. This is a section, sorry, content part, and as in our, so it is starting from the this position, but if we look to our application which we are following, we have this space empty. Then we have taken this space also, so we can do that. So for section I will create some style, that is a section content. I will keep some space from the left side, that is a 10%, some space from the right, and some margin top, just say 15 pixel. Saving it. I can use this class name here, class name. Okay, so yeah, perfect. Okay, now we will start creating the state of the employee, but yeah. So before that, let me create a type file where we will declare the interface for the employee, how and what parameters it should have. Okay, so here I'm typing employee.type.ts file. Here we will declare all the types like interface employee, and my employee should have the ID which is in string, then first name also string, then last name, and it should have the email. Okay, and we need to export this interface. Okay, and I will create one state here to keep the employee list data, employee list. So first parameter, that is the employee list, it will hold the list of the employees. Then second parameter is a function which we will call to set the employee list. Set employee list, and here we are using useState hook. Okay, we are importing threes from the React, and for now we are giving it empty array, which is similar to IOP. It's the array of the employee. Okay, so I don't want to keep it empty, it will make you confused, so I can create here one dummy object. Okay, dummy employee list, which is employee list, array of employee list. Here I am creating array of object and I need to pass ID. We will create ID from date to JSON, sorry, to JSON, and here we will convert it to string. Then we will set first name as dummy1, then last name as dummy11, and email as dummy1@gmail.com. Okay, and we need to export this one. Now we can use this. Here we need to import from the type file. Okay, so the employee list default value is set as a this object or this array of object. Let's try creating the list first so we can visualize the records. Okay. Let me create one more component for employee list. Is .tsx const employee list. It's array function and returning the dummy text. This is employee list page, and we have to export this. Export default employee list. Okay, now I will import this component in the home.tsx. Here, and to import I can click on the press the control dot, and I will get first option to import. Okay, employee list. What employee list will do is it will show the records in the table format. So we have to write the table here. I can search table in HTML from W3 school. We have this format, again other formats. So yeah, it looks nice. We can use this one. So table, then table row. Okay, so I can copy this entire table, and here I can paste it, and we need to copy its style also. So I have copied that one. I need to paste here. I will create employee list style file, style.css, and I am pasting here. Now I need to import that CSS file. Import /employee list dot style.css. Okay, so we can see the records now. Yeah, here. So we have the one record ready. Okay, that we created, dummy record. We can show that dummy record in this table. So let's work on that part. So what we need to do is we need to pass the employee list data to the employee list component. We can check what are there in our state. You need to install the React Dev extension. What is that? React Dev developer tool for Chrome. Okay, then only you are able to see this tab in the inspect element. So here we have to components render, home and employee list. As of now, we don't have any props or state in an employee list, only some basic HTML. But we have state in home component, which we can see here. Okay, so here we have only one record. This record we need to pass to the employee list as a props. Okay, so I will create here type props, and here I will need employee, or I will just say list. List is a employee list array, and the props will looks like a props type. Here we can destruct it from the props. Okay. So let me format this one. So all the prop we will get in the list. We have like destructure the object here. Okay, so we can use this list to render in the table. So how we do is, let me first delete the extra records. Okay. So to render the list, we use a map. Okay, map. So map give us a first record as a like a employee. It's array function, and here we need to return the element. So element will be same as the table row. Okay, let's check what this employee print or have a data. Okay, and I need to pass the list from the home component. It is also showing the error, like property list is missing in the type but required in type props. So here list will be employee list. Okay, so we have passed the employee list to the employee list component. We can see here in the logs this one. Okay, so this is the log or the employee list which we passed. Okay, now we have to render this on the UI. This employee have the all the things which pass, like email, first name, last name, and ID. We can use that one. As we are using the map, we need to pass here the key which is unique, and we have unique thing ID. Then here we will use first name and last name. First name and last name. Last name. And here in second column we have to print the email, and at third, for now, I'm just writing action, simple actions. So these are the column header. So first name is a first column name, then second is email, third is a action. Let me save it and let's see what it is showing. Yeah, so it is showing our dummy data. Okay. If we update the state, like here is a our state from the home component. If I update here, instead of dummy1 I type dummy12, it should reflect on the uh, employee list. Okay. What error it is showing is warning, Each child is a list should have unique key props. Check the render method of employee list. Okay, but we have passed that one already. We can delete now. Let's see, is it still showing? Okay, so here we have passed the key already. We will take care of this. Okay, so in a action column we need three buttons, that is view, edit and delete. We can write that. So I am wrapping this in a div element, then input, its type is button and value is view. The same I am copying, it's edit, and third one is delete. Okay, yeah, fine. Let me delete these things, this employee list page, and again this element also. Okay, fine. We will add a style later. For now it's fine. Now we can create the add employee form, or first we can add the add employee button here, then we can create its form. Okay, so here I will write input type button, its value is add employee. So here we can see the button. Now I will create one more component for add employee form. Add employee dot tsx, it's add employee component, and I am returning some dummy text for now. This is add employee page, and I am exporting add employee component. Okay, fine. Let me close other tabs, close others. But as you know, we will show this form only on clicking the add employee button. So again, go to the home page. Here we will create one more state, which will show us the shown page, set shown page, which will be the value. Okay, so use state. First we need to show the list page. Okay, and we can use this same condition here. If shown page equals to list, then we will render the employee list. Okay, it will throw error because in React we have to the element should return only one element should return, that's why. So I wrap this in a React fragment instead of adding the one more extra element. Okay, so I set here the shown page as a list, so it will show uh, the employee list. If I make it shown page equals to add, and here I need add employee, it should show the add employee form or the content from the add employee. Okay, let's check it. So here we have add employee, and from the components here I am going to update this state as a add. Okay, so it is showing the add employee page. I am again making it list. It is showing the list. We will not write this in this way. Okay, instead we can create the enum. So enum export enum employee shown page, sorry, shown page, or the employee page, or the page list, sorry, page enum. And page enum are list, add. For now we can use this enum here. So first one is enum dot, let me import enum dot list. Okay, and also here also we need to use something like this, list, and instead of add string we need to use the enum. Okay, fine. Now what this add employee button will do is it will toggle the things like once if I click on this button I will set shown page as add. Let me write on click, and here I am writing handler on add employee click handler. Okay, and I will create a function here, constant add employee click handle arrow function. Okay, once I click here, this one set the shown page, set shown page as page enum add. Okay, let's check it. Yeah, it's working. Let me refresh. Add employee, it is showing the add employee page. It's great. Let's focus on the add employee form now. So here we need to create the form. Okay, and form will have the label, first name, and input text box, input type text, and same for the last name and email, last name and email address. Okay, and in this form we will have the buttons as well. So one button for back, input type button, its value is back. We will have again another button which type is submit, and value is add employee. Okay, so yeah, it is looking like this. We can create its style, we can add the style here later. First implement the back button functionality. Okay, so on back button what I need to set is this property, shown page, and its value should be list, page enum dot list. Okay, means we need a callback from the add employee to home component. So how we can do that is we can create again type props on back button click handle, we can return its the callback. So this is how we write. Okay. And props will be type of props. I am destructuring it on back button click handle, and on clicking the back button I am giving this callback function on back button click handle. Okay. So whenever I click the back button, it will call this callback. So we need to pass the callback function from the home. You will see here it is showing the error. Okay. So on back button click handle, we have, okay, and on add employee click handle we can show, create one more, show list page, set show page as page enum dot list. So we can pass show list page this function to on back button click here. Okay. So on back button click of the add employee form, it will call show list page. By this way, uh, the show page property will set to the list page. Let's check it on back button. Yeah, it's working. Add employee, the form is showing. On back button click, it is going to the list page. Fine. Let's add some styling here. For add employee, I am creating employee form dot style dot css, and we can add the styling to the div element, or we need some header here, that is add employee header, just like this. Okay, so I will create here div element, then h3 add employee, we can write form, and this div, I am wrapping the add employee component in the div, so we can add the style or the form container, and to make it align center, takes align center. Just import the style here, employee form dot style dot css. Okay, and add that class here, class name as form container. Let's have a look. Okay, fine. So everything comes here in the middle, and now we can make it much better by applying the some styling to the input and buttons. Okay, so input type text, as we are not using any UI component library, that's why we need to do all these things, else we get much better UI if we use the Material UI or the Microsoft Fluent UI component library. Okay, so height here I am setting as a 20 pixel, then padding left as 15 pixel, and margin as 5 pixel. Okay, okay, so then some styling to the buttons. Input type equals to button, also input type equals to submit. So for button and submit, all the type, we can use this style. So height 20 pixel, and margin we can set, or margin left we can set as a 5 pixel. Okay, let me increase some height. Okay, it's fine. Now we will focus on creating the new records on clicking the add employee. Okay, let's start creating this means implementing this form. So we need first name, last name, and email address. So I will create a state for it. So first name, and function to set function first name is like set first name, use state, and default value is empty. Here I am importing the use state from the React. Same for last name, set last name. Same for email also, email. Okay, set email. Okay, we can give now I am going to use this value to the input text box. So value first name, value last name, and here value email. Okay, what happened, small email, and on clicking or on change I will write one more handler on first name change handler. Okay, let me create the function for it. And we get the data in variable. I can refer it as a e, and I can set the first name as set first name e dot target dot value. You can try console the e dot target, you will get all the details. Same for last name, same for email. So here last name, set last name on email change handler, set email. Okay, so I can use the other functions for last name and email. On change, on last name change handler, and for email on change on email change handler. Okay, so once we start typing, it will update the state from the add employee form. Okay, so what error it is showing? Okay, for now I can type any, give its type any. Now we can see I can open the components tab here. I have click on the add employee, so all the states from this component I can see here. Once I start typing, okay, Bob Smith, bob@gmail.com, so our state will get updated. Now next thing we have to do is, on clicking the add employee, we have to pass this data to the home component. So it should update the new record in this state. So here they will we have to create a new a record, then only that row will show on the table list. I hope you are getting the concept and how to implement it. Okay, so on clicking the submit button, how we write is here on submit click handler const. Okay. So we can call back again to home, just similar to back button click. So here we need on submit click handler, and here we need to pass the data from the form. Okay, and that data is uh, employee data. So we have type ready, so employee type. So here I can create some one dummy object const data, which is I of employee type. I need to create ID here. ID is the same way, like we create in dummy data. New date dot to JSON dot to string. Then first name is, we have first name, also we have last name, and we have email also from the form. So our object is data is ready. We can now give the data to the home callback function. On submit click handler, we can pass the data. We can destructure. Okay, sorry, the function name is same. On submit button click handler, and we have to destruct it at this place, so we can destruct from the props. On form click, it will call this function, and by this function we are creating one we are creating one data object here, and we are passing that data object to the parent, that is home component. So home component can get the data, and home component can update the employee list. Let's now jump to the home.tsx. Here it is asking for on submit click handler. On submit click handler, I am creating the same function name, on form or add employee handler. Let me change it again, add employee. Okay, so here we will get data, which is type of employee. Now what we have to do is, like, we have to push this record in employee list. Okay. Let me or we can do something like this. We have to call this function set employee list, and it's a array. So first I'm taking the list of employee list, and after that I am appending the data. So this way we can push the records in the array. You can check this statement in the console. Let's check the form. Here I am writing Bob, then Smith, bob@gmail.com, and click on the add employee. sorry, the on clicking the submit, actually it refreshes the page, so we need to stop it from preventing it default activity. So how we can do is e dot prevent default. The default spelling is fault. Okay, let's try again. Bob Smith, bob@gmail.com. Yeah, that's fine. So here you can see the new record is added, but it doesn't go to the list page on clicking the add employee. So what we can do is on this line, after this line, we can call the back button click handler. Okay, so it should go to the list page. Then John Sina here, john@gmail.com. Yeah, it's working properly. Okay, so back is also working, add employee is also working. Now we can focus on giving some styling, like we can add here header as an employee list, and we can keep this button at the right side. Let me close this. Also, what you can do is, if you want to add some validation here, you can write that validation at this part, so you can validate the data is there or not, and according to that you can show the error, or you can return it. You will not then call these functions. So this way validation also work. Okay, so now we'll point to add the employee list header here, and this button at the right side. Okay, so let's jump to the home page again. We have this add employee button. Let's write the some style, add employee button float right. Use this class here, class add employee button. Okay, so it is here, and we can give some margin bottom, or else we can add the, okay, yeah, we can give margin bottom here, margin bottom as 5 pixel. Okay, fine. Okay, so we need to add the header here, so we can write the header in the employee list form itself. Let's jump to the employee list. Here we can add the article, and there I can write h3 tag employee list. Now this should be in the middle, so we can write here some style, list header, text align as a center, employee list here, let me class name, list header. Yeah, perfect. So it is in center. We have this button as well. The button is fully working, like it's working for back button and add employee. Now we can focus on edit. Before that we can work on the delete part. So the delete button itself in the employee list component. So the similar way, like we have all the data in the home component, so we cannot do any operation for the data in other components. We can just take the callback. Let's create here on delete click handler, okay, and it's a function type, and on delete click we can send which record wanted to delete, so it's a type of employee, okay. And on click we can use this callback function. On delete click handler we can write in the destructor line, object destructor line, and we need to declare here in we have to pass that in the employee list now. On delete click handler delete employee const delete employee, we are getting data employee, fine. So here we are like approaches to get the index from array, that is employee list, then split that or splice that, and then update the new record again, fine. So index of employee, index to delete. So from employee list we can find, that is from the index of function we can clone the employee list, like also I will name it as a temporary list. I will use spread operator, so spread operator do the like a cloning work, so all the employee list will be copied in the templates variable, so it is a deep copy thing. Now from the temp list we have to splice that atom index to delete by 1, set employee list, here we will pass the new record. So what this line do is it deletes the record from the temp list, and temp list will have the new records, and we are going to update the employee list with the templates. Let's save it. Employee list have some error. What is that? Data I of employee, okay, correct. So we have done some mistake here. So on click handler const on delete button click, here we can use this function here, or instead of writing like this we can directly write as a arrow function, and we can pass the employee, this employee, each records to the this function. So what we have done, let me close all the tabs. So from home component we have passed the callback for the delete atom, and in employee list we are calling that callback function with the employee as a data, and in delete function we are doing some activity to delete the record which we kept in the employee list. Let's check it. Let me delete one dummy 11. Okay, what happened here? Okay, so it's a array, but I here use the object, so it should be array, because employee list we are mentioned as a array, and before that we splice or we use sprite operator with the object, so it's that cannot be happen. Okay, now it's working fine. Now I can add again new record like Bob Smith, again the same name. I can delete the John Cena. Perfect, it's working properly. Next we can target the model box, here view button. So on view we can see this model with all the details from the employee. Let's create one more component. We will name it employee model .tsx. Here employee model. Again I am returning here some code. This is employee model, and I'm exporting that one. Export default employee model. Okay. We will need this in the employee list, so I can mention that anywhere here at the top also or bottom also, employee model. Okay. Let's search for the HTML model code. Model in HTML. Go to the W3 school, or again other model. Let's check this one. I think yeah, this is fine. So we need this code for the model. I will write the code here in the employee model itself. Delete the comments, and so this class we need to replace with the class name, and we need to write the CSS for the model. So this all CSS. I'm creating employee model dot style dot CSS. I'm pasting it here, and need to import the style file in the employee model. Import employee model dot style dot CSS. So here, okay, let me check it again. Employee model, it should show. Let's check. Okay, so by default the model is displayed none. We don't need it. Okay, so what we can do is, on clicking the view button, we can keep one property to show model. So if that property is set true, we will show this model. If that property is set as false, we will not render this element. We can work in this way. Okay, so let's create one state in the employee list. Const show model, set show model. It's a boolean property. Use state. First by default I will make it false. Need to import use state from the React. Okay. And if use state is true, then only I am going to show the employee model. So how we write is employees, if show model this prop is true, then only I need to show this. Okay. And on this button, on click, uh, view the view record or view employee. I'm writing here one more function, view employee, and on clicking this function I will set this property as true. Okay. Let's check it. On view click, yeah, it's correct. But on clicking of this cross button we need to close it again, and this cross button belongs to the model. So on cross button click we need a click handle in the employee list component. So again the same thing, we can do this by callback. So here we will create a type props. Okay. On close, we will just give them callback function. Let me give props object destructor on close. Okay. So on this this is the close button. On clicking of this close button, on click I will call this callback function on close, and we are using this employee model in the employee list, so we have to use this here. On close model, here const on close model, we can set show model as false. Okay. Let me save this file as well. Let's close this one. Yeah, correct. So on clicking of this we can show the model. On close, clicking on the cross button we can close the model. So what we need to do is we need to pass this data, employee data on view button click, to the this model. Let's do that. So here we need data, which is the type of I employee, and here we can write the div for the employee data, not h1. I will keep this h3. Fine. Then I will write here all the div for first name, last name, and email. First name, here I will print, let me write here data dot first name. Again I will copy the same for the last name, again copy the same for the email address, email. Okay, great. We need to pass the employee data to the model now. So how we can do is here on view button click we can pass the employee just similar way in like here we pass. Okay, so Now we need to pass it here. How we can pass is we can again create one state. So we can keep that record here in one state. So how we can do is data to show, set data to show, which is a use state. For now I can set is null, okay, which is of type IEmployee or null. Okay, okay, fine. So we can set null or any data of IEmployee type. So this is view button. On view button, view employee, we can set this data. Here we will get data IEmployee and set data to show data, and we can pass this data to the model. Here what's happening here? Okay, so here we can add one more condition. If data not equals to null. Okay, fine. So we don't have any error. Let's check it. On button click, correct. So the data we can see in the model now. Let me create one more record. Bob Smith, bob@gmail.com. Let's view it. Great. We can make the width, we can change its width. Okay, so here we can keep this as a 50%. Yeah, it looks nice. Now we can focus on the edit. As I don't want to make the complex forms, I will create one more separate component just similar to the add employee form. Here edit employee dot tsx const edit employee return edit employee form and export default edit employee. So in similar way, like on clicking on add employee, we are showing this form. So on clicking the edit button, we need to show the edit employee form. So as we have here this shown page, we can use that same condition like we are using to show the list, to show the add form. We can add one more in the enum, that is edit. Okay. So if the shown page equals to page enum.edit, I will use edit employee form here. And how we can set shown page as edit is, we can get the callback from the employee list on edit button click. And similar way, like we are passing the employee data on delete button click, we can do the same with the edit button also. So on click here on edit, we can pass the employee this data, and we can take this from the parent. So here in the employee list, on edit click, we need to pass the same data as we are passing in the delete click. Okay, so on edit, here format. Now in a home, here we need to write on edit and one callback function on edit or edit employee data. So here I will write function on constant, first parameter is data, which is of employee, and the same way, like we need to set shown page as a edit and edit data as a this data. Okay, so set shown page as a page enum dot edit and data to edit. One more state we can create, data to edit, set data to edit. It is like null for now, as null or employee. We can set data to edit, call this method, pass the data. Now we have to pass this data to the edit employee. Where is our form? Here, edit employee. So we will create one more type here, type props data to edit, which is of type employee, and I can use this props here, props. I'm restricting the data from the props. Okay, and as it is the same form, like what is the name? Okay, so as we are using the same form like add employee, we can copy that same form here as well. So here I'm copying everything in the edit employee. Also I can import the CSS, import employee form dot style dot css. Again we can copy the states also, these states here, but the value of this first name, last name and email will be from the data dot first name, then data dot last name, then data dot email. We need to import the use state from the React. Again we need to copy these functions to update these states. Let's copy that as well. We can use the same form as I said. Here only we can do that activity, but it will be a bit complex and I don't want to go in that complexity. That's why I'm creating the separate component. In upcoming videos or in future videos, I will use that approach, so you can check or you can learn from that. Okay, so for now, also we need a back button. In similar way, here on back button click, I am writing here, I am taking that from props, so the back button can use that. And instead of add employee, here I will type update employee. For now, I am okay. Let's copy this function as well from the add employee. Same function pasting here. One thing to remember, we used to create ID in new ID in add employee, but in edit employee we are not going to update the ID. We can use the same ID from the data which we are updating ID. So here data and data are mixed, so I can or update data, and on submit click handler, or I will instead create new name on update click handler. We need to pass the data. We are not returning anything, we don't need anything. So here I'm writing a destructor statement and I can use it here. Some spelling mistake, so updated data, fine. uh, so home component need to pass data, back button click handler, and update click handler. Let's go here. Here we can pass data, which is a data to update. We have this state here, data to edit, sorry. Okay, then on back button click handler, okay, let's, data is showing something like it's a type of employee or null. So in edit employee we can okay, it's a type of employee only, and here we have mentioned it as a employee. So what I can do is I can keep it as empty object. Now back button click handler on back, what is that method name? Okay, sorry, show list page. Okay, and again last one on update click handler, uh, update the record, update the record, update record, or update data. Here update data, we are getting the data from the update form. So see here the logic is like we need to again take the index by ID, because this ID, because this data will have the same ID of the employee which is here in employee list. So how we do is const index of record or index of data. So data dot filter, we will do filter, sorry, we don't have to perform activity on data, we have to perform activity on employee list dot filter. Okay, x dot id equals to data dot id. Okay, and it returns the array, so we need only first record. So it will take this filtered data. From filter data we can take the index data dot index of, sorry, again, from employee list dot index of filter data, index of a record. Okay. uh, okay, fine. So again we can take the employee list in a temp variable, temp data employee list. So it should copy the, it should do the deep copy, and in temp data we can update the index of record with new data. So the temp data is updated, hold the updated records. We can now call set employee list. We can now pass the temp data here. So, this should update the uh, record, employee record. Let's check it. So we don't have any error as of now. Okay, it's showing some error at this point in home.tsx, but in employee list.tsx, okay, I need to save this. Let's check. Okay, on edit click, we can now see the edit form. Okay, so I will update here, instead of dummy1 I will write dummy12 and update this. Okay, again same thing happens. In edit form here, on submit button click handler, okay, on update click handler, what happens? Edit update employee, it will call this function. It should prevent the default activity. On update click handler, it should call the parent function, that is update data, and with that it should call the back button click handler, so it will show the list. What we are doing here, we are fetching the filter data, we are taking its index of record, we are copying here. I think this is correct. Okay, let's inspect and check what the error. Not a function, list.map is not a function. Let's debug the function. Okay, so I got the mistake, like we have done again, repeat the mistake. Employee list is an array, not a object, so we need square braces here. Similar way we write in the delete. Fine, let's check it again. I'm typing here dummy212. Okay, that's great. Our record are now updating. Let's create one more. Bob Smith, bob@gmail.com. Now view it. Bob Smith, updated John Smith. Email is John. Fine. Now it is updated. View it. Now delete dummy12. Perfect. So we have done almost all the things. Now the last thing which we pending is we have to store this data in the local storage. So on refresh we can see mm, the saved records. Let me delete the dummy record now. From employee I will delete this one, dummy employee list, from here, and from here as well. So here I just use empty array. Perfect. So what I need to do is I need to create so whenever we perform any activity like related to employee list, like set employee list, that time we will store that record in local storage. So let me create one more parent function to set this list. Okay, so on constant set employee list, it will take the employee list is of employee array. Okay, and inside that I will call this one set employee list, and I will pass this list here. And from all the places where we are calling the set employee list, we will now use underscore set employee list. So to go to all records, I'm pressing Ctrl D and Ctrl V. So all the records are updated now. Okay, and this new list I will store in window local storage. Here set atom, my key is employee list, and this data list to I need to make it a stringify, JSON dot stringify to this data. Okay, let's check it in application. Here in local storage you can see now some records. I think these are from previous. Clear it. Okay, Bob Smith, bob@gmail.com. So you can see our logic is working and data is stored in the local storage. So what we need now, whenever we refresh or whenever we like open this application, only that time, for the first time, we need to set the employee list. So our purpose is only for once and only when the home component is ready. So for that we have one more hook, that is use effect. Okay, use effect I need to import from the React. So first parameter is a array function where we need we write our logic, and second parameter is a condition. So this condition is for like how much time we need to execute this function from the use effect. So if I write, it's a conditional, so if I write here like empty array, it will only call once. If I don't write anything, it will call every time whenever I update any of the property like employee list, shown page, or data to edit. So whenever the home components re-render, every time use effect function will get called. So regarding use effect we will talk in some other video. For now I'm using empty array, so it will call only once when home component gets render first time. Okay. And here I need to get the record from local storage, get atom, and our key name is employee list, const list. This is in string format. Okay, so if it has some data, then only we will set employee list. So JSON dot parse, we need to parse the string. So I think we have done this. So instead of calling this one, we can call the temp variable we have written. Let's check it now. Yeah, you can see here. Let me open in new tab. Okay, so it is fetching the records from the local storage. Okay, so let me close other tabs. Let's create one more record. John Sina, and here john@gmail.com. Fine, I am closing this one. I am opening the local storage 300. So yeah, we can fetch that record. I think we have almost or we have done with the application and the CRUD. We have learned how we can create the CRUD application in React. So here so what we can improve in this application is, so we can use any other UI component library like Material UI or Microsoft Fluent UI. So we no need to write HTML from the basic. We get rich UI libraries or rich UI things. Then we can use this state management library like Redux, so we don't need to pass state from one component to another. So you can think like we have a lot of hierarchy, so how we will do that? So Redux helps there. Instead of storing data in local storage, we can create a backend API to keep that data. Also in this application we haven't used the routing, we have just used the show and hide the components. We can improve that thing by using routing. Okay, also for forms we haven't implemented the validation, although we can do that, but if we use any like library or like react hook form or other form, that helps. So in next video I will come up with the improvements for this application, so you will get much more idea about all these things. Okay, so for now, thank you so much. You can like the video, also subscribe. I will come up with other many different applications.